Welcome to episode 1 of the Fight for 15-Minute podcast. My name is Michael Conti, and in today's episode, we talk about the crucial role parents play in early childhood development.
This is Dr. Chen, your co-host. Thanks for joining us. A lot of parents have asked us the question about why parents. When we founded the parent empowerment coaching, Michael, I don't know whether you remember, one of the questions is like, why parents? Why not teachers or professionals, BCBAs? And so the idea is that when you found some service provider, as the parents, maybe you can say, well, perfect. Then you can have my kid, you can help my kid for 2 years, and we'll be all set. And we had a long conversation between you and I. We're talking about maybe that's not the way to go. And there need a lot of training just to change the mindset that, yes, you can pay BCBAs, you can pay RBTs, you can find one of the companies in your area, but it does not mean you are just say, okay, my kids are all in good hands and I don't have to do much at all. So I think in this episode, we'll just want to chat about why we say parents are the most important piece in this whole equation, and why PEC, we focus so much on parent training, why we spend all our energy, pull resources from different directions, and just want to create the best curriculum and modules and webinars for parents.
It really is, because you said it best. Providers will come and go. You're not sure the level of quality you get from schools and providers, but the parent and the family is the constant. And just knowing that, especially when these kids are young, it's really putting them in that space of creating a good environment. And, that's why the parents are the focus. We spend so much time on the child, which is very important, but a kid is going to spend most of their time with their family. And so as the family feels more confident, has good plans on how to help their child, I think that's the best measure of success, not only for the child, but for everyone. We're just a big fans of tribe. And ultimately, we want a tribe of people to know how best to help the young ones in their tribe.
And I think another thing it's important to remember is that it's the interaction that defines how your child learns language and how your child to pick up cues from the environment. And I think we spend so much time trying to figure out the written curriculum, right? Like the baby map, the like gazillion other ones on the market, teaching functional skill, teaching communication skill, teaching play, what's the protocol, what's the procedure. I felt like those are all good. Sometimes we forgot that all of this is situated in the interaction between a mom and a child, the interaction that's captured in that peekaboo, the smile, the share, the enjoyment, and the kids need more peekaboo. And then using the opportunity, we're trying to teach more peekaboo, the communication, the joint attention, and the imitation, which we talk a lot in our book.
Yes, it's the simple things, right? It's not just this fancy, you don't need a 100-page guidebook. It's right. Literally, I need to play peekaboo with my child more. And ultimately, the parent will know best because they see all the subtleties of a child. They know the culture. They know when their child is hungry. They know when a child gets upset. So I really think it's just helping them understand that simplicity is the path to success. And it is fundamentals. Something is as imitation. Something as simple as just reading to a child and helping them understand looking at activities. Or just getting their hands in a bunch of messy Play-Doh. So I think it's taking the simplicity of that and just acknowledging that with enough good effort and practice, you can see some of the progress that you're looking for with your kiddos.
I love how you make it so concrete, right? Like when I think about intervention, you're not thinking about like pages long of written instructions. You're just thinking about the Play-Doh, like you said, like the games mom and dad and the kids play, and the siblings wrestling with each other, and put a blanket over the couch and make it a fort and have a flashlight under, and then start to make it fun, and using that kind of activity to build the skills the child needs, the imitation, the pre-linguistic skills.
So it's almost kind of having the intent, right? Because I think that's where we can sometimes get stuck. What do I do today? So maybe just having one or two goals and even making a running list. You can have a list of peekaboo. You can have all the music things that you and your kid likes. You can get a YouTube video, unlimited amount, and you guys could do a dance party. I think it's saying at this time of day, maybe before or after we eat our dinner, let me engage in at least two things. And you can rotate them. But I think knowing what you're going to do helps to erase that kind of fear that you have to make it super rigid, or that you go in not knowing what to do. And at that point, I guess it doesn't have the motivation. So I think that's a great, great thought. It's just really just thinking about the simple things you already do and just committing to them on a regular basis.
Now you mentioned about rigidity. Oh my gosh, like there are several cases that I have helped with. It's almost a struggle of, I even see that in clinicians, Michael, is like, this is our schedule. We're going to follow our schedule, right? Like what you are speaking about is like, let the child lead the play and let your energy flow in that game. And you just have to really enjoy that game. And your child knows whether you are having fun or not. And once you're having fun and you are ready to kind of think like, okay, this is great. I got my kid attention and I did plan something, but the kid did not like. It's okay. I switched to a different activity. You'll go in, have like plan A, plan B, plan C. If your child does not like plan A, it doesn't make sense for you to push for plan A. Swing to a different game, like build a train right now if the Play-Doh is not something your child likes to do.
I love that balance. And that is the hard part for the parent. You need to have structure, right? You need to have some ideas of what's beneficial for the child. But what you talked about is just the motivation.
Mm-hmm.
If the child really doesn't want to work on the train tracks right now, but is really fascinated with the Play-Doh, I think having that flexibility to go where the child's energy is, and that way you can match it from that standpoint. So I kind of like that flexibility that you bring the guide rails, but you don't make it too rigid. You allow the child's energy to flow first. And then if they're, maybe not as motivated, now you have some one or two things in your back pocket to try to introduce. And this makes really a good process. You come with curiosity, you have one or two things on your plate to try. And then the third thing is just a simple 1 to 2 minute reflection on how it went. Did he laugh more this time? Did he try to imitate a sound that I made? I think that makes a good loop of teaching. And I think as a parent or any caregiver, that's what we're trying to establish, that there is no perfection in teaching. It's just being able to have a short thesis about what you're trying, see the reaction, and then see what you learn from that. Hey, he really likes the Legos. Okay, maybe I can do more on the Legos. Or he really struggles in this area. Maybe it's a new thing to pick up. I think that's the neat thing that could be done in these type of settings.
And I really encourage like parents to take a video of, their play session, and maybe the dad can take the video while mom is playing with the child, and then look at the videos together and see, what we can do next time that's different. I remember when I was helping a mom that, we were setting up the ball game, and then because the target word is ball and bounce, those are the words we want to keep practicing. And then the kiddo was trying to run outside because there is a swing out there. And then we're like, okay, here is the moment we're going to practice that flexibility. Yes, we have our idea of ball and a target word is ball, but we don't really have to like play the ball inside for 5 minutes and then say, okay, first playing ball, and then you go outside and we can take the ball with us outside, and we can still target the words that we have on mind, like what are the things we need to teach embedded in this activity. Some of it I understand, because when you are so stressed, and as a parent, a lot of parents doubt themselves. I know like for a long time, people think that the autism, the thing is the fault of the parents. And thank goodness we come a long way and we understand this has nothing to do with the parenting. But I think it's just seeing your child is different from other kiddos. Their stress just built inside of you, and the importance of flexibility, the importance of motivation, but at that moment, you just kind of froze for some reason.
That kind of paralysis by analysis of what to do next. So one of the simple mantras that we like to talk about is movement is energy. meaning for the parent to do more action things, because we spend so much time planning. What do I do next? How do I prepare? And we love planning. It's a big source of what we do, but really this is about movement. It's the action of let's play and do something. It's the action of let's go outside. Let's be silly for 5 minutes and maybe make some silly faces. And so I think that puts more or reduces the pressure that this has to be this perfect thing. It's let me do something and let me evaluate. And now I can kind of make some adjustments. And then let me do something else, try, and then let me evaluate is healthier to actually make progress versus kind of staying in our heads for too long. And that happens with parents, happens with lots of folks, just to stay in the more active mode of how we interact.
And evaluate often and make adjustment.
Yes. And going back to your video thing, I love that we have these cell phones are a problem sometimes, but I love that we can actually video a little bit of it. So the reason why it's helpful to video is really that you can have that objective observer and just watch some of the interactions. What happens a lot of times is when you're working with a kiddo, you're so busy trying to, manage your energy that you actually miss these subtleties that now going back, you can say, oh, there was an opportunity to do a communication attempt that I just happened to miss. Or, hey, I really saw the change in his energy when I asked him about, let's dance versus let's, drink some beads. And so just watching yourself with video, not with a critiquing eye, you're just looking to collect a little bit more data. And it's all about improvement. So it's saying, okay, I tried this. Let me get one thing to get better at when I teach next time. And I think just that one simple thing of, all right, I like the Legos. We did the Legos. I noticed that I could have maybe introduced a little bit more talking about the colors. He seemed interested. And that's it. You don't have to extract 10 things to do. But now next time you teach, focus more on that communication attempt. And so that creates what I call the positive feedback loop. You learn one new thing in your interaction with your child every single day, you'll end up with a treasure trove of knowledge that does make you just as qualified as any type of early providers that you would interact with, because you know your child and you've built your own process and how you get better and connecting.
And the systematic approach I think we're talking about here is you do not have to conquer the whole thing within one day. You're just picking up one skill at a time and just keep polishing that skill. That could be looking like be good at reading the nonverbal cues. And for a child, 3 or 4 year old who did not have a lot of language, that child is still communicating, right? And communicating in a way, maybe turn the head away from something or push away something or start to turn the body, and all these are signs of, okay, maybe I should try something different, my plan B, to capture more interest. This is telling me that the Play-Doh idea is not going to do it today.
Yes. So I guess as we brainstorm, what are some of the things, especially for young learners, talking about 18 months to about 4 years of age, what are some of the things that parents that they can interact or try to experiment with?
The one that comes to my mind is the idea of peekaboo, right? Like for very young kid, very little kid, and even a song like Baby Shark do 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 do, and then you make that routine and you wait, say whether the child will pick up, say Baby Shark do 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 do, and then pause and see what your child does to want you to sing more, and then start to think about, okay, can I start to shape some of the behavior into functional communication? That could be simple signs said, say more, or shark. And even you have a picture of a shark, and then you have a child hand you the picture of a shark, and you continue saying, Baby Shark, do, 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 do. And I think for me, it all comes down to functional communication. We have seen a lot of children, very young children, they will say things that maybe from a movie or from a song, but none of it is functional. None of it is like communicate something in very intentionally. So if you have found some activity when your kid was young, like the song or a social interaction game, and pause. And I think that's the thing, right? Like we are just like talking and I like talking. And when you interact with your kid, it's a dance. Sometimes you lead, sometimes your kiddo lead. And if you don't pause, you don't have opportunity to observe what your child wants. If you don't pause, you don't know like what your kid is able to do. I have a really good example. So I was working with this kid a couple of years ago. Was about 3 years old and love Frozen song. And we just, sing and dance, and then the parents will sing the whole song, and then we will all have fun. And then when you are singing the whole song, like let it go, your child did not have opportunity to fill in any words. So one day the parents said, I'm just gonna only say, let it, I'm gonna pause and just wait. The waiting part is the important part. See what the child will do. Guess what? When the parents said, let it, and then the kiddo said, go, and that's the first word the child has spoken.
Oh, that is awesome. That's the power of the pause
The
and
power
allowing
of the
the child to
pause.
fill in the gap a little bit.
Yes, I like the power of the pause. I was thinking like if I were a parent, I'm probably just gonna print that out and put in front of on the fridge something it's visual so everyone can see it. Like you gotta pause during your play so that your kiddo have opportunity to respond to the game you have set it up.
Yes. So you get them excited, you create the environment, and now it makes it easy for when you do that pause that the child is eager to keep the activity going. So I think that's a great tip for the parents to help. So do you want to talk a little bit about our book and what we do for helping out parents?
Yes. Our book is called No More Waitlist. We wrote this book was because like both of us has such a strong feeling that we're so sick of putting parents on the wait list, period. And, we know that autism can be diagnosed by age 2 reliably. And a lot of research has shown that for the first year, we can see a lot of signs like joint tension. If you point at something, will your child turn his or her head, look at something you're pointing, and then does your child imitate? So there are red flags we can spot during the first year, but the most recent data is saying that parents don't get diagnosis until 48 months. And just on top of that, you have a wait list, for OT and speech, and a wait list for BCBA. So we wrote this book is because we want to end the wait list phenomenon. This is not okay. Our kids don't have time to waste. Our parents don't have time to waste, period. That's really the goal that's why we wrote this book. And we want have something parents can do, like we talk about in our this podcast, right? The Play-Doh, the activities, the power of pause. And all these are not rocket science. All this we laid out in the book, and hoping that parents can pick up the book, set up the environment, we'll coach you through that, and start their journey and no more waitlist, and start take actions at the right moment.
No, that is well said. So as we bring this episode to a close, we want to leave you with a final thought. Parenting a child with special needs is a journey filled with challenges, but also immense rewards. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. Our book is a comprehensive guide that is designed to empower you. Feel free to visit our website to get a copy of our book and explore resources that will assist you on the journey. Stay empowered, stay informed, and let's continue this conversation together. Until next time.
See you next time.